What is up guys, my name is Ignas, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to take a look into a few companies from the financial sector and in particular the credit services industry. We recently did a stock analysis on PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. They do have strong fundamentals and analysts do predict a lot of growth for 2022. Another name I've been interested in is Mastercard, ticker symbol MA. We have been trading it on eToro and it is currently one of the largest positions there. Although today the performance is poor as we are now lower for 2.60%. But there's another similar company, Visa, ticker symbol V, and I'm wondering which of the three actually has the best fundamentals. So that is what we'll take for today's comparison. Visa, ticker symbol V, Mastercard, MA, and PayPal, PYPL. In order to make the comparison possible, we will be looking into 9 different factors. Last 4 quarterly earnings results, annual revenue growth, analysts' price targets, forward price to earnings ratio, price to sales ratio, return on equity, cash per share, current ratio, and Superinvestor capital allocation. The best company under each factor will get a point, so it is possible to have from 0 to 9 points, and in the end the stock with the most points will be considered the winner of this comparison. To make it easier, I will not force you to sit through the whole comparison, but rather just bring the results up front for you to take a look into first. So the results for each factor are in and the points are assigned. Visa got 3 points, Mastercard 1 and PayPal 4. This means that with 4 points, PayPal is considered the winner of this comparison. This is the result, but if you are still interested in how we got here, then continue on with the analysis. The first factor are the quarterly earnings results. When a company reports earnings, they are compared to expectations of analysts. So earnings can either beat expectations, meet them, or miss them. We will consider that beating expectations is a +1, meeting +0.5, and missing 0. Then we sum the results up to a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 4, and in the end the stock with the highest sum gets a point for this factor. So these are here quarterly earnings for Visa, and Q4 of 2020 beat expectations, Q1 of 2021 beat, Q2 beat expectations, and Q3 beat. This means that with 4 beats in quarterly earnings we get a sum of 4. Quarterly earnings for Mastercard, and Q4 of 2020 beat expectations, Q1 of 2021 beat, Q2 beat expectations, and Q3 beat. So with 4 beats in quarterly earnings we again get a sum of 4. Quarterly earnings for PayPal, and Q4 of 2020 beat expectations, Q1 of 2021 beat, Q2 beat expectations, and Q3 beat. So with 4 beats in quarterly earnings there is again a sum of 4. Results for the last 4 quarterly earnings factor are in the table, and with equal sums of 4, no company is assigned a point for it. Second factor is the annual revenue growth. As investors, we want to check if the revenues of a company are on a steady increase. We will take a look into the results of the 4 most recent years and compare them one by one. If revenue was on the increase from one year to the next, we will consider it as a +1, and if it was on the decrease, it will be a +0. Then we sum the results up to a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 3, and in the end the stock with the highest sum gets a point for this factor. So these are annual revenues for Visa, and going into 2019 there was an increase to $22.98 billion US. Then into 2020 we had a decrease to $21.85 billion, and into 2021 we had an increase to $24.11 billion. So with 2 increases and 1 decrease in annual revenues we get a sum of 2. Annual revenues for Mastercard, and going into 2018 there was an increase to $14.95 billion US. Then into 2019 we had another increase to $16.88 billion, and into 2020 there was a decrease to $15.3 billion. So with 2 increases and 1 decrease in annual revenues we get a sum of 2. Annual revenues for PayPal, and going into 2018 there was an increase to $15.45 billion US. Then into 2019 we had an increase to $17.75 billion, and into 2020 there was another increase to $21.45 billion. So with 3 increases in annual revenues we get a sum of 3. Results for the annual revenue growth factor are in the table, and with a sum of 3, PayPal gets the first point. Next factor are the analysts' price targets. As potential investors, we want to check how far the current share price is away from the average analyst price target. If current price is under the average, we will consider the stock as undervalued, and in the end the company with share price is furthest away from the average analyst target to the lower side gets a point for this factor. So for Visa, we have 38 price targets of analysts. They range from the lows of $240 to the highest of $308 per share. The average is at $274.53, and the current price is at $210.66. This means that there is still around 30.3% of room for the current price to reach the average target of analysts. For Mastercard, we have 36 price targets of analysts. They range from the lows of $360 to the highs of $494 per share. The average is at $432.05, and the current price is at $342.20. So there is still around 26.3% of room for the current price to reach the average target of analysts. For PayPal, we have 45 price targets of analysts. They range from the lows of $175 to the highs of $366 per share. The average is at $281.04, and the current price is at $186.99. This means that there is still around 50.3% of room for the current price to reach the average target of analysts. Results for the analyst price targets factor are in the table, and with most room for growth, PayPal gets another point. Factor number 4 is the forward price to earnings ratio. It is calculated by taking the current share price and dividing it by the estimated future earnings per share. This is the standard price to earnings calculation, with the difference that earnings here are predicted by analysts. So in the end, the stock with the lowest forward price to earnings gets a point for this factor. Visa has the forward PE at 29.94. Forward price to earnings for Mastercard is at 33. And PayPal has the forward price to earnings at 35.21. Forward price to earnings ratios are in the table, and with the lowest value, Visa gets the first point. Next factor is the price to sales. It is calculated by taking the company's market cap and dividing it by the trailing 12 months worth of sales. The formula suggests to be looking for a company with a low market cap and a high result in sales. So in the end, the stock with the lowest price to sales ratio gets a point for this factor. Visa has price to sales at 19.47. Price to sales for Mastercard is at 19.58, and PayPal has price to sales at 9.11. Price to sales ratios are in the table, and with the lowest value, a point goes to PayPal. Factor number 6 is return on equity. The percentage here shows how well the company is managed and if money from investors are handled efficiently. So in the end, the stock with the highest return on equity percentage gets a point for this factor. Visa has return on equity at 33.36%. Return on equity for Mastercard is at 127.62%, and PayPal has the return on equity at 24.30%. Return on equity percentages are in the table, and with the highest value, a point goes to Mastercard. Next factor is the cash per share. It is calculated by taking the total amount of cash and dividing it by the shares outstanding. The ratio shows the company's ability to reinvest and expand, but also to buy back shares or pay dividends. So in the end, the stock with the highest cash per share ratio gets a point for this factor. Visa has the cash per share at 8.78. Cash per share for Mastercard is at 7.04, and PayPal has the cash per share at 11.31. Cash per share ratios are in the table, and with the highest result, PayPal gets another point. Factor number 8 is the current ratio. It is calculated by taking the current assets and dividing them by the current liabilities. As investors, we want to find that the company is able to cover its debts with assets, but also that they are still actually being leveraged. So in the end, the stock with the highest current ratio under 3 gets a point for this factor. Visa has the current ratio at 1.75. Current ratio for Mastercard is at 1.43, and PayPal has the current ratio at 1.3. Current ratios are in the table, and with the highest result, a point goes to Visa. The last factor is the Superinvestor capital allocation. We'll check how many shares in total Superinvestors are holding and calculate how much of a capital that is at the current price. Then we'll compare between the three, and in the end, the stock that has the most capital in from Superinvestors gets a point for this factor. So Superinvestors are holding over 67 million shares of Visa, and at the current price of just over $210 per share, that makes it a capital of over $14 billion US. It seems that Mastercard is being held by fewer funds. They are currently holding just over 23 million shares, and at the current price of $342 per share, that is a capital of $7.9 billion US. And the number is again fewer for PayPal, so Superinvestors are holding over 26 million shares, and at the current price of $186, that makes it a capital of $4.9 billion US. Results for the Superinvestor capital are in the table, and with most money in, Visa gets another point. We can calculate the results, so Visa has 3 points, Mastercard 1, 1 and PayPal 4. This means that with 4 points, PayPal is considered the winner of this comparison. And that was it. If you got value or new ideas, then make sure to push that thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot. Are you holding any of the free names mentioned today? Share your own best pick in a comment below. If you are interested to know exactly when I buy or sell in a stock, then consider memberships. By becoming a member, you will get access to Discord, where I share the stock watchlist and all the buys and sells exactly when I do them. This could be a great option to track my moves closely. I've recently done an analysis on PayPal, so if you are interested in that one, then click on a video that is currently on the screen. And that was it from my side. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing y'all in the next one.